Our story begins deep in the mountains, where a monster roars into the void while a young man watches from a distance, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Suddenly, he's shocked to find Sebas, his servant, standing right behind him, urging him to hurry back home and stop what he's doing. Our protagonist, Arnold, gets furious, reminding him that he has told him 100 times not to follow him. Sebas asks for forgiveness, explaining that it is an old habit, and reveals he came to deliver the news of General Dominic's death. Arnold is shocked and suspects an assassination, but Sebas does not know the full details, telling him that even if his suspicion is true, he shouldn't go looking for the killer right now. Arnold insists on finishing his mission before rushing back to the palace, so he steps into his adventurer persona and shifts his appearance. We learn that he is actually the 7th prince of the empire and an heir to the throne, using this trick so nobody uncovers his true identity. He orders Sebas never to follow him again because it could easily expose him. Finally, we learn that our hero is Arnold Rex, the 7th prince of the Great Darzia Empire, whom people call the Feeble Prince. This nickname exists because his younger brother inherited all the talent in the family, making him a great genius in everyone's eyes. Because of this, Arnold decided to live his life on his own terms and do whatever he wants. He puts on his mask, stepping into his hidden identity, revealing that he is actually the S-rank adventurer, known as Silver. He drops down right in front of the giant Minotaur and mocks it, asking, "Are you lost or something?" Furious, the Minotaur charges at him, but Arnold had already prepared a trap on the ground. The moment the monster steps on it, it gets launched high into the air. Arnold says, "Forgive me, looks like we can't play together today," and casts a laser spell that completely melts its body until it dies. Next, we see the imperial capital city of Worth, capital of the Darzia Empire. Arnold enters the Adventurers Guild carrying the horn of the Minotaur King. None of the adventurers inside can believe he slayed it all by himself. The female receptionist cheers him on, saying, "Awesome job, Master Silver," and hands him a massive pouch of gold coins as his reward, adding that it is a great honor to have him in the guild. We learn that he is one of the top 5 strongest adventurers in the entire continent. Arnold pulls 3 coins out of the bag and shouts, "Drinks are on me today, boys." He then asks the receptionist to reserve any extremely difficult missions for him until he returns, before stepping out into a dark alley to take off his mask. He mutters, "Time for the Feeble Prince's secret activities," and uses his magic to open a massive portal, clearly up to no good in secret, where nobody can track him. We then see Leonardo, his younger brother, and the 8th prince. He summoned Arnold after hearing about General Dominic's death, revealing that the general was killed specifically because he was on Leonardo's side. Arnold tells him, "Since you know the reason, you must know who killed him." But Leonardo admits he still has no idea, though he suspects someone within the royal family. However, he wants to avoid starting trouble. Arnold warns him, "If you keep thinking like that, you'll end up dead just like him. You're a prince, which means you must join the war for the throne." He makes it clear that what happened threatens both of their lives, as well as their mothers. Leonardo apologizes, feeling responsible for everything, but Arnold tells him to toughen up and make a firm stance immediately. Leonardo makes his choice and resolves to fight to protect his throne. Arnold agrees to stand by his side this time, advising him, "If you want power, you must gather forces around you. That way, the enemy can never threaten you." He adds that he will go look for allies himself, noting that while all the nobles are powerful, the ministers hold the highest 3 ranks in influence. Leonardo tells him, "You are actually the most suitable person to be emperor," but Arnold laughs it off, saying, "Be honest, does this look like an emperor to you? Are you mocking me or what?" In reality, Arnold has a simple dream just like any normal person watching us. He just wants to find a good girl, get married, and live a peaceful, happy life. That is why he needs Leonardo to become the emperor instead. Later, Sebas speaks to Arnold in private, asking, "Why don't you just tell everyone that you are the S-rank adventurer Silver?" Arnold refuses, explaining that their great-grandfather was ruined because of ancient magic, which has been strictly forbidden in the royal family ever since. Arnold is currently using that exact type of magic, and if anyone finds out, it will cause a massive crisis that will ruin Leonardo's reputation too, since people will assume his twin brother is dragged into the forbidden magic mess. Sebas points out that the identity of Silver has become one of the strongest adventurers in the Empire's history, and someone like that would be incredibly useful for Prince Leo. Arnold replies that this will be their absolute last resort if things get out of hand. Besides, he actually benefits from being known as the talentless, Feeble Prince. Whenever big trouble happens, nobody ever suspects him. He then asks Sebas if there is a ducal family that hasn't joined the war for the throne yet. Sebas tells him about the Kleinert family. Arnold is surprised because they are a wealthy and high-ranking noble family, and he doesn't understand why they haven't been recruited yet. Sebas explains that their territory was recently invaded by monsters, and they still haven't been able to solve the problem. Hearing this, Arnold gets a brilliant idea. He suggests having Leo commission Silver to clear out that land. plan, putting the Duke's family in their debt so they will owe them a massive favor. However, Seabass warns him that doing this might make Prince Leo look weak, as if he needs an S-rank adventurer to fight his battles, and if someone digs too deep, they might discover that Arnold himself is Silver. Arnold says it doesn't matter, because people will fear Silver anyway, forcing them to think twice before trying to betray them. Seabass then points out something crucial. There is a huge difference between declaring his identity himself versus someone else discovering. So, Arnold decides to go meet the Duke in person, declaring, "It's time to handle things my way." Seabass cautions him, "Be careful, because the Duke's daughter is Lady Bella. She's the girl whose father gifted her the blue seagull hairpin. She is breathtakingly beautiful, and her looks could easily make you fall head over heels." He warns him not to let her distract him from the mission, but Arnold tells him to stop nagging. Seabass apologizes, saying it is his duty and the final wish of Arnold's late father. Arnold puts on his mask and says, "Leave it to me this time." He opens a portal in the ground, steps into it, and arrives directly at Duke Kleinert's palace. He asks the guard to let him see the Duke under his identity as the adventurer Silver. The guard scoffs, "Are you stupid, kid? If you were really Silver, you would have heard the news from the guild. Besides, Silver wouldn't show up here without an official permit." Assuming he is a fraud, the guard demands he leave and refuses to even check his Adventurer Guild card. Arnold threatens him, saying, "I come with an order from Prince Leo. I'll tell the Duke that you refused to let me in and disobeyed the prince's orders." Just then, he catches a glimpse of Bella looking down at him from the window, realizing she is indeed beautiful, but there is no time for that now. He quickly retreats and tells Seabass he will go straight to the monster-infested territory, but this time as Prince Arnold. That way, the Duke will practically kiss Leo's feet to save his lands. Seabass remarks that Arnold seems to be enjoying this plan, but reminds him that the journey there will take 5 full days. Arnold arrives at the Duke's estate in his true identity and meets Duke Albert Kleinert. We learn that the last time Arnold saw him was 8 years ago. The Duke asks why he is visiting his territory, and Arnold replies, "I came to talk to you about the price of compensation," explaining that while this wasn't Leo's original intention, circumstances forced their hand. He decides to ask for the Duke's support directly. The Duke is confused, asking, "What compensation? What support? I don't understand anything." Arnold tells him, "I know many people trust you, which is why Leo decided to help you in his own way. Is this how you return the favor, Lord Duke? You're an old, respectable man who should understand honor." Seabass chimes in, saying it seems the Duke genuinely knows nothing about what happened. Arnold raises his voice dramatically. How could he not know? Leo sent an S-rank adventurer specifically to save his land. The Duke is completely shocked to learn that Silver was sent to save his territory, unable to believe that the famous S-rank adventurer came all the way to his doorstep. Arnold explains that Leo heard about the monster crisis, ordered Silver to use teleportation magic to get here, only for the Duke's men to kick him out in the end. The Duke asks if he is absolutely sure about this information, but Arnold snaps, "How dare you accuse me of lying?" Seabass steps in to calm him down, saying, "Calm down, Your Highness." It seems the Duke truly didn't know what happened, suggesting they give him some time to investigate. Arnold huffs, "I'm only leaving this to you because of Seabass, nothing more." The Duke rushes off to find out the truth, while Arnold notes that his plan was a complete success. It turns out the person who turned Silver away that day was actually the Duke's own son, not a regular guard. This makes the situation even more intense, playing right on their nerves. Arnold knows that if he just follows his brother's straight path, they will never win, which is why they need a mysterious figure like Silver pulling strings in the dark. Seabass gets upset, worrying that Lady Bella's reputation will be damaged, but Arnold couldn't care less about his own reputation. Seabass grumbles about how Arnold doesn't care about their standing or their mother's honor either. The Duke returns, dragging his son by the hair. He reveals that Silver indeed came 5 days ago, and this foolish son kicked him out. The son stammers that he didn't expect Silver to actually show up in person, thought he was an imposter, and threw him out the door. The Duke scolds him, "It was my mistake leaving you at the gate while I was away, you idiot." We learn the son was posted at the gate specifically to turn away anyone coming to see Bella. Arnold states that the Duke must take full responsibility for his son's blunder. The Duke apologizes profusely, saying he doesn't know how to make it up to them, but Arnold tells him an apology is useless because Silver won't contact them ever again, so now they have to handle the situation themselves. The Duke says he is ready to offer his own life, but Arnold replies, "I don't need your head, nor your son's broken head." Seabass adds that they must offer something else as compensation, and Arnold demands no less than 2 kilograms of gold. Suddenly, Princess Bella appears and interrupts, "Take me instead." She begs Arnold to forgive her father and brother. The Duke cries out, "I beg you, leave my daughter out of this. She is still young." Bella admits that she saw Silver from the window and says, "If you're going to punish my brother, punish me too." Her brother shouts, "Leave her alone and take me instead." Arnold is caught off guard, unsure how to handle the dramatic scene. Seabass whispers to him, suggesting a compromise, warning that if they push too hard, people will say they couldn't even handle a few nobles. Seabass advises handling it in secret, acknowledging that while they were insulted by the Duke's family, they still need silver to complete the mission. He argues back and forth with Arnold for blowing things out of proportion, saying if Leo were here, he would have solved this headache instantly. Arnold asks the Duke to send someone to track down Silver, and eventually, he and Bella head to the adventurer quarter where Silver is staying. When they arrive, Silver acts as if he expected them, saying, "I figured you'd come all the way here, but I can't believe the Feeble Prince came in person." Bella introduces herself as the Duke's daughter, and Silver mentions seeing her at the window 5 days ago. Bella apologizes for her brother's behavior, but Silver tells her no apology is needed, acknowledging that her family is loyal and protective of their allies. He assures them that clearing out the monsters is easy, but warns that in the future, they should carefully choose which adventurers they trust to clean up their lands. Arnold asks Silver if he is willing to accept the mission again. Silver agrees, but insists on verifying one crucial thing first. He asks Arnold if he succeeded in binding the Duke's family to their side. Arnold admits he hasn't secured their full commitment yet. Silver points out, "I see they're still playing hard to get," noting that their current influence is far behind Leo's rivals. Arnold tells him, "Just focus on the mission and we'll secure their support, don't worry." Silver firmly responds, "I won't lift a finger until you secure their full backing and draft a formal contract with non-betrayal clauses." Bella interjects, promising that her father would never betray the prince. Arnold gets impatient, saying, "Come on, stop wasting time, we're not going to beg you." Silver replies, "You know I don't trust a weak prince like you." To push the deal through, Arnold is forced to bow deeply to Silver to make him agree. Bella is stunned to see him swallow his royal pride like that. Silver remarks, "It seems you really lack royal pride," but Arnold pleads, "Please, just kill those monsters." Silver finally accepts, saying he was planning to eliminate them anyway, adding to Bella, "I'm only agreeing to this for your sake." It turns out Arnold used illusion magic to create a duplicate copy of Silver. Seabass comments that this trick is super old and completely unnecessary, but Arnold counters that it doesn't matter if it's old, as long as it worked, and Bella was completely convinced that was the real Silver. While traveling back with the prince, Bella thanks him for everything he did, still unable to wrap her head around the fact that he bowed just to help them. She admits, "I thought you were arrogant and full of yourself," but Arnold replies, "Who told you that? I'm just a poor, simple guy." He explains that he only bowed for his own personal interest. Bella asks for forgiveness for her previous harsh words, but Arnold isn't even paying attention. He is completely mesmerized by the beauty of her eyes, which reminds him of a shooting star seen in the sky back when he was with his brother Leo. Seabass rides with him toward the Duke's lands and notices Arnold staring blankly out the carriage window. He says, "You must be thinking about the shooting stars with your brother," noting that Princess Bella's smile brought back those memories because that was the happiest time in his life. Arnold puts his mask back on and dismisses it. That's just nonsense. Upon arrival, he notices that slime monsters have completely overrun the territory, feeding on the land until it turned into a barren desert. He learns that many adventurers were dispatched before, but none succeeded because the real danger isn't the sheer number of slimes, it's the giant slime queen that spawns massive numbers every single day. Arnold realizes the monsters will keep appearing endlessly until the queen is destroyed. Stepping onto the field, he finds a group of adventurers already taking on the mission, trying to kill as many small slimes as possible. They are shocked when the legendary adventurer Silver appears in person. Their leader, Abel, introduces himself and his rank, saying, "Of course, we must look like total kids to you, Commander." Silver greets him and asks if they can handle the situation. A female member of the team explains that the slime queen has grown abnormally massive, and after failing to kill it, they were forced to retreat because they lacked the firepower to destroy it. Silver asks for their permission to handle the slime queen himself, and Abel agrees without a second thought. Silver thanks them for their hard work, leaving Abel in utter disbelief that Silver himself just praised their efforts. Silver tells them, "If you ever need anything, come visit the capital branch," before stepping forward. Nobody can fathom what he plans to do against the queen. Arnold then casts a massive forbidden spell from ancient magic. Its scale is so colossal that it stretches across the entire horizon, vaporizing the slime queen and every single slime monster in a single, devastating strike. Silver tells the stunned group to handle the report to the guild because he doesn't have time for paperwork. Everyone now looks at him as a legendary hero who saved the Duke's land. Silver acts completely indifferent, uses teleportation magic, and disappears from the site. He teleports directly into his private quarters enters at the palace, but gets the shock of his life when he finds Bella standing right inside. She watches him take off his mask, instantly realizing that the seventh prince himself is the legendary adventurer Silver. What will Arnold do now that his biggest secret has been exposed right before her eyes, and how will he keep this secret safe? That is what you will find out in the next episode. My friend, Arnold snaps. Why the hell are you in my room, girl? Princess Bella stammers that she came to bring him some snacks, and finding him absent, decided to leave them on his desk. Arnold steps closer, saying, now that you know my secret, there is no way I can just let you leave this room. Bella frantically promises never to tell a soul, shouting out loud, nobody will ever know that Prince Arnold is Silver. Arnold sarcastically replies, keep yelling, why don't you? I don't think the guys outside heard you yet. Luckily, Arnold had already prepared for this, casting a soundproof barrier around the room so not a single sound leaks outside. Relieved, Bella says, thank goodness nobody heard us. Arnold leans in, asking, aren't you scared I might do something to you? Bella replies, what do you mean? I come from a very respectable family. Arnold warns her that he could easily make her silent forever, but Bella smiles, you definitely won't do that. Arnold is baffled by how she can trust him so easily. Bella explains that he just returned after destroying the monsters and saving their land, meaning his entire Feeble Prince persona, his fake dialogue with Silver, and his terrible reputation were all just an act to protect his brother Leo and help others. Seeing how far he goes for those he cares about made her trust him even more, adding that his natural charm makes people feel safe around him. Arnold clarifies that only Seabass knows his secret, and he won't tolerate anyone else knowing, warning her that the consequences will be dire if she spills the beans. He sits down, feeling utterly defeated that his identity was uncovered so easily. Seeing him stressed out because of her, Bella warmly offers to make him a warm cup of tea with some sweets to cheer him up. Later, Arnold returns to the Duke's palace in his normal prince identity, finding the Duke thanking the group of adventurers for their efforts in the territory. The Duke apologizes for the extreme danger of the mission and offers them extra pay on top of their original reward. However, Abel refuses, saying this is way too much because they weren't the ones who actually solved the core issue. His female teammate adds that they are a proud team that respects true effort, refusing the extra reward since Silver was the one who cleared everything out. The Duke nods, saying he might request their help again in the future, and Abel promises, next time, we'll handle the entire mission ourselves. After the adventurers leave, the Duke turns to thank Prince Arnold. Arnold tells him, you should be thanking Leo, because he is the one who made this happen. Grateful for the salvation of his domain, the Duke officially agrees to ally with Prince Leo, working out a strategy with Arnold to back Leo's ascension to the throne. This gives Leo a solid future and establishes him as a powerful fourth faction alongside his brothers and sister. The Duke notes that Leo's faction seems short on trustworthy people, and Arnold agrees, asking if the Duke could recommend someone reliable. Suddenly, the Duke drops a massive bomb. I want you to marry my daughter. He explains that Bella told him everything that happened and insisted they must repay Arnold for his kindness. Arnold is completely speechless, totally caught off guard. The Duke adds that Bella is quite famous, especially since the king himself gifted her the blue seagull hairpin, and marrying her would give Arnold massive political leverage through her reputation. Arnold asks if he is truly sure about this decision, and the Duke smiles, saying Bella requested it herself, realizing his little girl has finally grown into a bride. Shortly after, Bella gets into the carriage with Arnold, waving goodbye to her father and brother. She tells Arnold that while she lacks experience, she is super excited to assist him in all his future missions. Noticing his grumpy expression, she asks, what's wrong, Lord Arnold? Why the long face this morning? Arnold solemnly explains that the war for the throne has claimed countless lives throughout history, telling her this is her last chance to back out of this dangerous struggle. But Bella understands the risks and remains firm, stating she feels much safer keeping an eye on him all the time. Arnold just sighs, whatever, as they leave her family's estate. 5 days later, they arrive at the Imperial Palace. Prince Leonardo rushes out to meet his brother, exclaiming, I had no idea your connections were so deep that you actually know Silver in person. Arnold apologizes for keeping things hidden from him, but Leo smiles, assuring him he trusts him completely. Arnold cautions him, it's fine to trust Silver, but much of his identity remains a mystery, and he hasn't revealed why he's helping us yet. You shouldn't rely on him completely. Leo, however, is just thrilled that Duke Kleiner joined their side and remains convinced that Silver is a genuinely good person. Arnold gets annoyed at Leo's endless optimism, grumbling about how he always assumes everyone is nice. Leo then mentions hearing that someone from the Kleinert family accompanied Arnold, and is shocked to learn it is Lady Bella herself. Recognizing her famous blue hairpin, Leo greets her warmly. Bella smiles and says, "You really are a kind person, Prince Leo, just like Arnold told me." Leo is stunned that his grumpy brother actually said nice things about him. As they sit down, Arnold stands nearby watching over them. Leo asks what Bella's role will be in their faction, and Arnold explains that she will handle diplomacy and reside in the royal palace for now, which serves as clear proof to everyone that the Duke stands behind them. When asked if they have any other potential allies, Leo sighs, admitting that no one else wants to back them yet, as all the powerful nobles have already aligned with his formidable rivals. Bella asks for details about the three main contenders, and Leo is surprised that Arnold hasn't explained anything to her yet. Arnold scoffs, her head is completely empty. She babbled about useless stuff the entire journey here. Leo laughs, happy to see that Bella is the only person who can actually get under Arnold's skin, since Arnold usually ignores everyone around him. Arnold grumbles that dealing with her is exhausting, but proceeds to break down the three main rivals for the throne. First, the second prince, Arnold Rex, known for his legendary, godlike intellect and strategic mind. Second, the third prince, Arnold Rex, a 26-year-old bloodthirsty warlord who commands the largest military force in the kingdom, fighting on the front lines himself. Third, the second princess, Xandra Rex, a 22-year-old magic prodigy who holds immense influence among the Empire's high sorcerers. These three dominate the political landscape, and most nobles have been aligning with them ever since the tragic death of the first prince, William, 3 years ago during a battle. Bella mentions hearing about Prince William from her father, who said that if William were still alive, this brutal war for the throne would never have happened. Arnold coldly cuts in, the eldest is dead and buried. Leo is going to be the new emperor, and that's the only path forward. Leo feels overwhelmed by the heavy responsibility, but Arnold tells him, just win, leave the rest to me. Suddenly, their assistant Mary enters with urgent news. Duke Seifert has officially declared support for Princess Xandra, while Duke Poland has joined Prince Gordon, both bought off with massive bribes and promises of commercial power through a giant merchant guild. Realizing how far behind they are in resources, Arnold remains calm, emphasizing that having Duke Kleinert and the famous Lady Bella on their side is a massive step forward. Bella pumps her fist, exclaiming, "We're going to do great work together." 2 days later, Bella pops into Arnold's office, asking him to take her on a tour of the royal capital. Arnold warns her that walking together will draw too much attention, so Bella decides to wear glasses as a disguise. Arnold chuckles, "Put a little more effort into your disguise and maybe I'll agree." She returns wearing a heavy rain cloak, revealing that Seabass gave her the idea. Arnold hesitates, claiming they need guards, but Bella counters that Seabass assured her she wouldn't need any guards as long as Arnold was with her. Arnold calls out for Seabass to scold him, but realizes the servant conveniently vanished. With no choice, Arnold agrees to a short walk, remembering that Bella is a favorite of the king, so nobody would dare mess with her anyway. As they stroll through the bustling streets, they pass an weapon evaluation shop that assesses and appraises gear. Suddenly, Bella stops, smelling a strange herbal aroma. Arnold explains it's a medicinal tea shop where Seabass used to take him whenever he was sick, warning her that the tea is extremely bitter. Bella decides to pass. She remarks on how knowledgeable Arnold is about the city, but he asks her to call him Aaron in public so nobody recognizes his royal status. After treating her to lunch near the military training grounds, Arnold chuckles, noting that cheap street food doesn't really match a noble lady like her. Bella admits it's her first time trying street food and absolutely loves it, especially the goat milk cheese in her sandwich. Watching local kids play nearby, Arnold gets nostalgic, remembering how he used to sneak out of the palace as a child to play in the streets. Bella admits she feels jealous because she had a lonely childhood without friends. Arnold gently tells her that as she grows up, she will meet all kinds of people, both good and bad, and she must choose whom to trust wisely. Deeply moved by his words, Bella is suddenly hit by a stray water balloon thrown by the playing kids. Recognizing Prince Arnold, the kids freeze and apologize frantically. Arnold jokes, "Next time, I'm throwing you all into the fountain." With her clothes completely soaked, Bella feels embarrassed, so Arnold quickly takes her to a nearby clothing shop to buy a new dress. Overwhelmed by the selection, Bella asks Arnold to pick one for her. Arnold turns to the shopkeeper and growls, "If anyone finds out I came here with this girl, I'll kill you." The shopkeeper laughs, "Sounds serious. I've never seen you out with a girl before, Your Highness. Are you finally getting married?" Arnold snaps, "Mind your own business, old man." Bella steps out wearing a stunning new dress. Arnold plays it cool, saying, "Yeah, it looks fine," but the shopkeeper gushes, "Fine?" It takes her to a whole new level. When Arnold tells him to put the bill on Seabass's tab, the shopkeeper agrees, assuming the two are on a romantic date, leaving leaving both Arnold and Bella blushing furiously. They spend the rest of the day exploring the city. As evening approaches, Arnold says it's time to head back, but notices Bella eyeing a gift shop. Assuming she wants to buy something inside, he waits outside for her. Suddenly, a condescending voice calls out, "Well, if it isn't the Feeble Prince." Arnold turns to see Guido, the arrogant son of Duke Herzog. Guido sneers, "I didn't expect to see you here, but since I was passing by, I thought I'd greet royal trash like you." Noticing Arnold's indifferent attitude, Guido places his heavy walking cane on Arnold's leg, threateningly applying pressure. "If I beat you up right now, nobody would even come to defend you because nobody even knows who you are." Arnold calmly replies, "Prince Leo's fame has grown recently, so plenty of people know who I am." Guido snaps, "You're nothing like Leo. Nobody considers you part of the royal family. You don't even possess a fraction of their talent." He slams his cane violently into Arnold's leg. Bella steps out of the shop, sees the attack, and screams, "How dare you do that, you punk!" Guido assumes she is just a common servant, but Bella furiously pulls off her hood, revealing her identity. Everyone in the crowd gasps upon recognizing Lady Bella of the Kleinert family. She berates Guido publicly. How dare a noble act with such utter disrespect toward the royal family? The crowd gathers, whispering in shock as Bella exposes Guido's arrogance and lack of loyalty to the crown. Catching on to her play, Arnold quickly steps in to pull off a brilliant bluff, pretending to be Prince Leo in disguise. Claiming he dressed as Arnold to protect Lady Bella's secret outing, he turns the tables completely. Terrified of having assaulted the rising star candidate for the throne, Guido turns pale and stammers out apologies. Arnold coldly tells him, "I won't punish you right now, but if my brother finds out about this, you'll answer to him." Humiliated and terrified, Guido flees as the crowd scorns him. Afterward, Bella apologizes for her reckless action, but Arnold notes that while her stunt made an enemy out of Guido's family, it unexpectedly opened up a clever cover story for them. Now, people will believe Leo disguises himself as Arnold, making it even easier for Arnold to operate in the shadows. He gently tells her not to do something so dangerous again, though he secretly appreciates that she stood up for him. Bella promises to be more careful next time, and they agree to go on another city tour together soon. A few days later, Arnold and Leo are summoned to an important emergency assembly at the Imperial Palace. Leo is nervous, noting it's their first time attending such a gathering, but Arnold explains that all 13 royal siblings assemble in the capital only once a year, meaning their father has a major announcement. Stepping into the grand hall, they find all their siblings assembled. Finally, King Rex Adler makes his appearance alongside his chief advisor, Franz. The king addresses the room with a boisterous grin. "I gathered you all today because I'm honestly too busy tomorrow." The atmospheric tension in the room soars as the major players are highlighted. Second Prince Eric, the brilliant Minister of Foreign Affairs. Second Princess Sandra, the powerful arch-sorceress. Third Prince Gordon, the terrifying, bloodthirsty warlord. Fourth Prince Trajet, the short, sharp prince. Fifth Prince Carlos and sixth Prince Conrad. Seventh Prince Arnold and eighth Prince Leonardo. Ninth Prince Henry, who rudely shoves Arnold as he walks past. 10th Prince Robert and young Princess Krista. With 12 of the 13 siblings present, only the eldest daughter, Princess Marshalize, is absent while commanding a war on the distant border. Gordon immediately shouts at the king, "What do you want, old man? I'm ready to march our armies and slaughter the enemy right now." King Adler laughs, "You never change, Gordon. Always hungry for blood like a savage." Princess Sandra sneers at Gordon, "Can't you think about anything other than war? Clean out that rusty brain of yours." Gordon glares back, "A weak witch like you could never understand a warrior's honor. Say another word and I'll crush you like a cockroach." Sandra readies her magic. "Come try it, musclehead." Prince Eric steps in, bowing to the king. "Please forgive our uncivilized siblings, father. They lack basic manners." But King Adler just roars with laughter. "Ha ha ha. Now that is the spirit I want to see." He announces that he is going to make them all compete against one another. Arnold narrows his eyes, wondering what the king is plotting. Gordon grins, "Let's start the fight right now." The king tells him to cool his heels. "Don't be stupid, Gordon. You can't fight your 10-year-old sibling." King Adler then drops a massive announcement. He is officially reviving a legendary ancient tradition, the Grand Night Hunting Festival. The room falls into dead silence as the royal siblings digest the news. Eric notes that this festival used to pit royal knights against the most dangerous, monstrous beasts in existence. Advisor Franz confirms it, explaining that while the festival was discontinued after monster populations dropped, the competition is officially back, setting the stage for a brutal battle for power among the royal heirs. The festival had completely lost its popularity among the people, so the king decided to bring it back once again. Eric asks him if the Adventurers Guild will even agree to this, considering it directly takes away work from the guild and independent adventurers, but Franz informs them that official permission has already been secured, adding, "Besides, I am the king, so I can do whatever I want." Hearing this, Arnold realizes that the whole thing was carefully orchestrated behind the scenes from the very beginning. The king explains that the guild actually requested assistance themselves, believing the festival would be immensely beneficial for everyone involved. Gordon speaks up, saying, "Since there's a competition, there must be a prize," and King Rex asks him what he wants. Gordon boldly and shamelessly responds, "I want the position of Crown Prince, making me the undisputed heir to the throne after you." Eric remarks, "I've never seen anyone so brutally and foolishly honest." To everyone's surprise, the king agrees to the suggestion, declaring that whoever wins the competition will become the new Crown Prince. Furthermore, he adds another massive incentive. The winner will also be granted the prestigious title of Extraordinary Ambassador. Everyone is left in absolute shock at this revelation. The king informs them that each sibling will lead their own military unit, shouting, "I want you to make me proud and set this festival on fire, boys." Afterward, Leo tells Arnold, "You absolutely must take this position." But Arnold declines, saying, "I have no interest in traveling or solving diplomatic crises between nations." He admits he doesn't stand a chance of winning the festival anyway and urges Leo to secure the victory himself instead. Leo agrees, saying, "You're right about everything," but admits he hates the idea of fighting his own siblings. However, he resolves to push forward for the sake of his mother and brother who support him, knowing that losing this competition literally means the end of his political future. He turns to Arnold and says, "I'm going to need help from both you and Bella." Returning to Seabass, Arnold announces, "We are in deep trouble." Being fully aware of Bella's capabilities, he explains that while Leo becoming ambassador would be a massive opportunity, the real catastrophe would be if one of his rival siblings won, because that would completely eliminate them from the race for the throne. Bella grows anxious and asks what they should do now. Seabass notes that the knights were completely caught off guard by the announcement, meaning the king and his advisor made this decision entirely in secret. Arnold analyzes the situation, realizing the winner will likely be decided by a mix of raw ability and pure luck in encountering rare monsters, predicting that the festival will take place in the eastern region of the kingdom. It turns out the eastern region is the area most devastated by monster attacks, where ordinary adventurers struggle to hold the line, and official knights are strictly forbidden from entering. Arnold realizes the royal court intentionally left those monsters unchecked just to use the territory as a hunting arena for the festival, knowing his father is cold enough to pull off such a move. Bella tells him, "You must win first place," to which Arnold replies, "I really wish you hadn't opened your mouth." Seabass clarifies that Arnold must continue playing the part of the Feeble Prince, because revealing his true abilities now would cause massive political fallout. Bella realizes this is indeed their only choice. Revealing his secret identity now would burn the master card he has been playing from the shadows his entire life, ruining Leo's chances of becoming emperor. Arnold tells Seabass they need an alternative strategy. Seabass points out that resources in the Eastern Territory are extremely scarce, though certain methods exist to attract rare monsters. Arnold jokes, "What am I here for, guys?" suggesting that Silver could secretly herd some monsters toward the east. Bella asks how he could possibly pull that off, but Arnold acknowledges that doing so would put the local eastern population in severe danger. He reassures her, "Don't worry, we'll find another way," and asks if she has any suggestions of her own. When Bella asks what he means by that, Seabass chiming in says Arnold likes her just the way she is. Arnold quickly denies it, "I never said that," but Seabass insists that if he doesn't hate her, it means he likes her. Bella beams with joy and goes off to brew some tea, while Arnold argues with Seabass for crossing the line before refocusing on how to win the festival. Seabass then brings up a critical piece of news. The Adventurers Guild tried to contact Silver 2 days ago. Arnold goes to the guild in person to investigate. The receptionist explains that the reward this time is exceptionally high and that Silver is the only adventurer capable of completing the task. Arnold instantly regrets coming, but decides to take the mission for the sake of hunting down the beasts. Upon arriving at the target location, he encounters a three-headed red wolf that has already wiped out multiple adventurer parties. Arnold hits it with a double strike, but is surprised to see it survive, forcing him to cast detonation magic to completely vaporize the beast. Suddenly, a voice calls out to him from the distance, recognizing the terrifying explosion. It turns out to be Alina, daughter of Duke Arnsberg and commander of the army's 3rd Regiment, who came to slay the monster herself. Silver mocks her, saying, "Your vision seems pretty weak." Recognizing him, Alina remarks, "A little success has made you arrogant," pointing out that his title as guardian of the capital, directly challenges her family's long-standing legacy as the true protectors of the capital. Silver indifferently replies, "I have nothing to do with that. The public gave me that title," showing complete disinterest in trivial titles. Offended, Alina snaps, "It sounds like you're challenging my family single-handedly." Silver fires back, "It seems your family is obsessed with prestige and terrified that someone might steal your title." Alina declares, "I won't let you insult my family." But Silver counters, "You insulted your own family with your foolishness," reminding her that he defeated the monster under official guild orders and asking why she attempted to steal the kill before him, calling it a direct provocation against the guild. Alina claims she was only acting out of concern for the citizens. Her assistant suggests retreating, pointing out that since the guild issued an official order, they are in the wrong and must return to the capital immediately. Before leaving, Alina warns Silver, "Never forget that the ducal family are the supreme guardians of this kingdom." Silver casually responds, "I can barely remember what I ate yesterday. The moment I walk away, I'll forget you and your family ever existed." Enraged, Alina curses at him and storms off, leaving Arnold thrilled that he managed to push her buttons so effectively. In reality, the two are childhood friends. Alina used to beat him at everything growing up, so successfully riling her up felt like a long overdue victory, even if he can't reconcile with her right now. A few days later, Arnold awaits the team member who will join his unit. Seabass informs him that the king himself is making the assignments to ensure fairness among the siblings. Arnold prays for anyone except Alina, but Seabass reminds him that she is one of the strongest warriors in the entire kingdom, joining the frontline units at age 11 and becoming a regiment commander by age 14, meaning he couldn't find a stronger ally in the entire realm. Arnold sighs, "I know all that, but I just can't deal with her." Seabass continues praising her endlessly, prompting Arnold to point out that she merely puts on a facade of perfection in public, while her true personality remains hidden from the people and the knights. Arnold recalls the first time he met her when he was 7 years old. She defended him from bullies, only to turn around and tell him, "You're a weak kid and you deserve to get bullied." Arnold mutters, "No one says that to a crying child." Afterwards, she beat him up under the guise of training him, traumatizing him so deeply that he avoided her ever since, viewing her as a demon in angel's clothing who shattered his self-confidence at a young age. Suddenly, Alina bursts in, asking, "Who are you calling a demon, kid?" Arnold desperately calls for Seabass to kick her out, but Seabass reminds him that she is the supreme knight of the realm and no one can protect him from her. Alina remarks, "You always understand the situation, Seabass," and approaches Arnold, who recoils in terror. She smiles mockingly, saying, "I am at your service, dear prince. You haven't changed a bit since we were kids," adding that he is famous throughout the capital as the Feeble Prince. Arnold sarcastically replies that he loves the title and finds it hard to believe they are on the same team, while Seabass looks on with delight. Alina grows annoyed that Arnold doesn't seem thrilled, revealing that she specifically requested the king to assign her to his team. Arnold warns her, "You'll draw too much attention from my siblings," but Alina dismisses it, knowing he has no interest in the throne anyway. When Arnold asks why she really came, she promises to hand him victory on a silver platter to make everyone regret calling him weak. Arnold groans, "I never asked you for anything." Arnold dreads becoming the center of attention, but Alina tells him, "I promised your father I'd shape you up," declaring that it is time for horsemanship training. Arnold mutters to Seabass, "Her voice alone gives me a headache," and feigns illness to escape, but Seabass cheerfully notes that physical exercise is the best cure. Alina drags Arnold out of the room by his collar as Seabass waves goodbye, saying, "I'll miss you, your highness." Alina puts him through brutal riding drills in every imaginable position. The next day, Bella is seen tending to his bruised and aching back, while Seabass informs him that Alina expects him back for afternoon training. Arnold groans, "Does this girl ever rest? I can't keep taking it easy like this." Bella mentions hearing that Alina is called the hero successor, noting that her combat skills rival Silver's. Seabass explains to her that Arnold specializes in ancient magic, meaning his physical endurance is significantly lower than average, making physical combat techniques exceptionally difficult for him. Bella assumed all top adventurers were physically strong, but Arnold explains that he compensates for his physical weakness with raw magic power. Without magic, his body remains fragile. Arnold feels frustrated because if he wins the festival, people will attribute the victory entirely to Alina, as no other knight matches her skill, yet he must secure the victory for his brother Leo, making Alina their greatest asset. Arnold declares that he won't let anyone other than Leo hold the title of ambassador. Bella asks why he refuses the title for himself, saying, "Even if you win, you'd still be helping Leo in the end," but Arnold insists that Leo must win officially. Seabass warns him, "If Alina finds out you're throwing your own chances, she will make your life a living hell." Bella admits she envies their bond, wishing she had had a childhood friend who cared about her like Alina does, though Arnold insists he dislikes her because she constantly meddles in his life. Alina bursts into the room again, holding medicine, but grows annoyed upon seeing Bella, saying, "Looks like you don't need my medicine after all." Arnold retorts, "Bella gave me medicine, and she's way nicer than you." After introductions, Alina drags Arnold out for another grueling training session, torturing him physically until nightfall. Exhausted and battered, Arnold returns to the palace and slips into his secret underground passageway. He enters a hidden chamber and greets a figure sitting inside. "Are you still studying ancient magic?" The figure is an extremely old man with a small frame, revealed to be Arnold's great-grandfather, the former Emperor Gustav. Emperor Gustav remarks that the true nature of magic remains an unsolved mystery. Arnold tells him to give up his research, reminding him that his obsession with ancient magic caused demons to possess his body and trap his soul inside a grimoire, yet he continues his studies regardless. Gustav admits he made mistakes in the past, but Arnold replies, "You talk as if it was nothing. The demon used your body to wreak havoc across the capital, which is why ancient magic was strictly forbidden for the royal family." Arnold notes that he is still hiding his own use of ancient magic from the entire family. Gustav counters, "Look at it from another angle," explaining that being trapped in the spirit realm gave Arnold the unique opportunity to learn ancient magic, using his disguise as the adventurer Silver to act freely. It is revealed that Gustav is an ancient figure, making King Rex his grandson and Arnold his great-grandson. Realizing Arnold came seeking advice, Gustav tells him to ask quickly. Arnold reveals that his younger brother Leo has been dragged into the war for the throne. Gustav notes, "Every member of the royal family inevitably gets dragged into the succession struggle. If anyone opposes the king directly, he would execute them publicly." Gustav recalls surviving multiple assassination attempts himself and brings up Prince William, Arnold's late older brother and the former crown prince who died years ago. Gustav suspects William was assassinated by one of his own siblings, but Arnold points out that William died in battle, and an official investigation by their father found no evidence of foul play. Gustav argues that it makes no sense for the primary candidate for the throne to die so easily in battle, asking Arnold if he is willing to risk his life to protect Leo in the upcoming conflict. Arnold affirms that he will protect his brother at all costs, but Gustav asks, how could all those elite guards fail to protect William, suggesting a deep conspiracy during the previous succession crisis. He adds that the lack of evidence either proves the assassins were absolute masters, or that the emperor himself was involved. Gustav warns Arnold, keep that possibility in mind. Everything ahead will be webbed in conspiracies. Arnold then asks if magic exists to control monsters, prompting Gustav to realize that Arnold's visit was about magic all along. Arnold explains that an unusual number of monsters have appeared near the capital, suspecting someone is controlling them. Gustav explains that while spellcraft can control a few beasts, controlling an entire horde requires powerful magical artifacts, specifically ancient artifacts like the Pied Piper's flute. He notes that blowing the flute requires immense magical power and naturally attracts hordes of monsters. Arnold mentions the upcoming Grand Night Hunting Festival led by the royal siblings and knights, with the title of Extraordinary Ambassador as the prize. He explains that he must win the competition, but if the enemy possesses the Pied Piper's flute, their chances are slim. Gustav notes, whoever is risking everything to bring monsters to the capital won't be satisfied with just an ambassador title. Realizing the stakes are much higher than a simple festival, Arnold asks how to destroy the flute. Gustav tells him the artifact must be physically destroyed to stop its acoustic waves, which are audible only to monsters, making the flute nearly impossible to locate through sound alone. Arnold realizes the competition will be completely rigged, and Gustav notes that all teams will suffer due to the massive surge in monster activity before the festival even starts, meaning the mastermind was setting their plan in motion long before the event was announced. Returning to his bedchamber, Arnold hears footsteps creeping behind him in the dark and calls out, "Do you even know you're trying to assassinate Prince Arnold, or did nobody tell you?" Surprised by how fast the enemy moved, the intruder replies, "Don't worry, kid, I'm not here to kill you, just to ensure you don't participate in the festival." Arnold realizes his assignment with Alina made him look like a major threat to his rivals. Noticing the assassin standing motionless, Arnold asks, "Aren't you going to make a move?" Suddenly, the assassin finds himself lifted into the air by an invisible force, realizing he has been trapped inside an inescapable magical barrier. He gasps in shock, realizing Arnold is far from weak. Arnold calmly assures him, "Don't worry, I won't kill you, but you're going to answer a few questions. Who authorized you to enter the Imperial Palace?" The assassin declares he would rather die than betray his client. Suddenly, Seabass appears from the shadows, announcing that he has already captured 3 other intruders. Arnold gives the assassin one last chance to speak, but the man refuses under threat of torture. torture. Arnold replies that he won't resort to physical violence. Instead, he casts a mind manipulation spell that forces the assassin to hallucinate betraying his employer and confessing everything. The interrogation reveals that Princess Xandra sent them. Arnold remarks, "It seems Xandra is putting her torture techniques to use," while Seabass notes that this is typical behavior for her. Realizing Xandra tried to eliminate him, Arnold concludes she isn't the one controlling the monsters, casting suspicion onto Prince Gordon and Prince Eric instead. He orders Seabass to lock the captives away for future leverage. Seabass then delivers important news. While Arnold was training with Alina, the official location for the festival was announced: the city of Kiel, the largest city in the Eastern Territory. The festival is set to begin in 15 days. Excitement spreads among the populace as the royal siblings prepare to lead the hunt, with rumors circulating that the Emperor arrived early to oversee the event personally. Meanwhile, Arnold meets Bella and hands her a pair of magic glasses that conceal her true identity from strangers, making her look like an ordinary girl. Bella brought Arnold to the city early so they could explore before the festival begins. When she gets a stomachache from overeating at the street stalls, Arnold teases her about her massive appetite. Bella explains that she was confined to her family estate as a child and missed out on normal experiences, which is why she wanted to try every food stall today. Arnold gently tells her she doesn't have to rush through everything at once, suggesting they rest before continuing. Suddenly, they spot Prince Leo arriving early on official business, accompanied by knights inspecting the surrounding villages. Recognizing his brother from afar, Leo calls out to him. The local crowd murmurs about Prince Leo and his feeble twin brother, irritating Arnold. Teasingly assuming Arnold and Bella are on a romantic date, Leo asks what brings them here. When Arnold asks about the heavy night presence, Leo reveals that a string of thefts has plagued the city recently. Leo explains that guards are patrolling every street, meaning Alina is actively on duty nearby. Suddenly, a group of small, cute creatures approaches Bella. They are identified as pet animals, native to the western continent, leaving Arnold wondering why they are in the eastern region. The creatures slip inside Bella's clothes in a chaotic moment, subtly stealing the blue seagull hairpin given to her by the Emperor. Arnold realizes thieves are training these animals to steal high-value jewelry. Shocked by the theft of the Emperor's gift, Bella panics, but Arnold reassures her that they can retrieve it quietly without causing a public scene. He decides to investigate the theft himself alongside Leo and Bella, telling her that while the animals are clever, he is cleverer and will trace them back to their handlers. They track the trail to a dark alleyway filled with old timber. Arnold instructs Bella to focus on finding the handlers rather than the animals, suspecting someone trained the creatures to gather loot at a specific location. Searching the area, Arnold discovers a sound stone, a magical artifact playing a recorded mating call to attract the male pet animals. Realizing the thieves exploited the animals' instincts, Bella gets furious at their cruelty and vows to catch them. As they search for additional sound stones, Bella climbs onto Arnold's shoulders to reach a high windowsill, but they lose their balance and tumble to the ground. Spotting a pet animal running past, Arnold knows the thieves' hideout is close. Deciding to handle the arrest through official channels, Arnold adjusts his hair to mimic Leo's appearance and calls over the local knights. Believing him to be Prince Leo, the knights immediately follow his orders to raid the hideout. Bella feels annoyed that Arnold constantly credits his brother for his own discoveries, but Arnold explains that the guards would never listen to the Feeble Prince, and letting Leo take credit serves their broader political strategy. The knights successfully raid the hideout, apprehending the ringleaders and recovering the stolen goods, including the blue hair. Arnold takes the hairpin back and tells the knights to keep the incident secret to avoid getting penalized by the Emperor for security lapses. Grateful, the guards agree, and Bella requests that the captured pet animals be released safely back into the forest. After treating the guards to drinks on his tab, Arnold and Bella prepare to leave. Bella stops and looks at him earnestly, saying, "I don't care if no one else knows what you did. I will always be a witness to your heroic deeds, and I'll always remember how strong and selfless you truly are." Touched, Arnold smiles and replies, "I'm counting on you," before quickly acting embarrassed and telling her it's no big deal. Suddenly, they run into Alina, who has just broken up a fight between two brawling men by beating them both up until they apologized. Seeing her in action, Arnold quickly drags Bella away to avoid getting dragged into her chaos, taking her back to the market to eat more food, where she predictably gets another stomachache. Meanwhile, in a dark meeting chamber, three figures gather around the Pied Piper's flute, the ancient magical magical artifact capable of controlling monster hordes. They offer the flute to Prince Conrad, the sixth prince, convincing him that using it will allow him to protect the king, win the hunting festival, and become a national hero. Gullible and desperate for glory, Conrad accepts the artifact, completely unaware that he is being manipulated as a pawn in a much larger conspiracy. The day of the competition finally arrives. Every royal participant is fitted with a silver bracelet, a tracking artifact designed to monitor their real-time locations and prevent cheating. Advisor Franz explains that each prince or princess must remain within 1 kilometer of their assigned knight commander. If anyone exceeds that distance, their bracelet will shatter, resulting in immediate disqualification. Realizing he can't just send Alina to hunt while he sleeps in a hotel, Arnold groans. However, an exception is made for the youngest siblings, Krista and Robert, allowing them to issue commands from a distance without geographic restrictions. As they prepare to start, young Princess Krista approaches Arnold, warning him that a massive horde of monsters is approaching the city and that a catastrophe will occur if they aren't prepared. Arnold thanks her, realizing her precognitive abilities have given him crucial advanced intelligence. King Rex addresses the crowd from the balcony, acknowledging the kingdom's long struggle against monster attacks and declaring that his children will fight on the front lines to protect the realm. As the horn sounds, the Grand Night Hunting Festival officially begins. Alina single-handedly slaughters 30 A-rank bloodhounds without letting anyone assist her. Watching her tireless rampage, Arnold mutters, "I'm thinking about taking a nap until she finishes." After turning in her score crystal, Alina readies herself for another wave of incoming beasts, but Arnold calls a halt for the day, asking, "Don't you ever get tired?" When Alina insists they are just getting warmed up, Arnold reminds her that the festival lasts 3 days and orders her to rest, threatening to report her to the king for insubordination if she refuses. Reluctantly, Alina complies, and they set up camp in a nearby village. That night, Alina enters Arnold's room without knocking. When Arnold asks what she would do if he walked into her room unannounced, she replies, "I'd cut you in half." She then challenges him to evening training, causing Arnold to hide under his blanket. Arnold asks her how she envisioned his future back when they were kids. Alina admits she hoped he would stop letting people make a fool of him, expressing frustration that he allows everyone to view him as talentless and weak. Arnold replies that he simply lacks talent and prefers letting his twin brother take the spotlight. Alina tells him, "You have so much more potential, but you don't even try. If Leo wants the throne, you need to take things seriously and help him properly." Arnold reveals the harsh reality. People recently tried to assassinate him because Alina's presence on his team made him look like a genuine contender for the throne. He warns her that staying near him puts her in danger too, declaring, "This time, I'll put real effort into the festival." The next morning, Alina is shocked to discover that their team dropped to second place, overtaken by Prince Conrad. It is reported that Conrad's unit somehow eliminated 3 S-ranked monsters overnight, despite his team lacking elite fighters. Realizing Conrad possesses the Pied Piper's flute, Arnold concludes that the foolish sixth prince is being manipulated by the true masterminds, threatening to derail their entire plan. Arnold deeply regrets that Conrad made such a brainless move. Suddenly, the ground begins to violently shake beneath their feet. Alina presses her ear to the earth to track the vibrations, discovering a massive army of monsters charging all at once. She informs them that the beasts are fleeing eastward because of the team's actions, and Arnold realizes they are heading straight toward the city of Kiel, ready to obliterate everything in their path before reaching the gates, a horde the local forces in Kiel could never withstand. Alina adds that the military presence accompanying the king is far too small to hold off a force of this magnitude alone. Arnold asks if she agrees to protect the city, and Alina affirms that it is their sworn duty to shield the emperor and his people. However, Arnold cautions them that the sheer number of incoming beasts makes this a potential suicide mission. Alina boldly declares that she does not fear death, and her assistant along with all the accompanying knights vow to stand and fight beside her. Arnold asks Alina to promise she will survive the battle, and requests that all soldiers pledge not to perish on the field. Alina kneels to swear her unwavering loyalty to Arnold, with her assistant and every soldier immediately dropping to their knees behind her. Alina points out that this is their chance to turn the festival's results in their favor, but Arnold instructs them to focus solely on halting the monster's advance. He then intentionally shatters his tracking bracelet, declaring that since it cannot be removed normally, he is officially disqualified from the competition. Alina is completely baffled by his seemingly foolish decision. Arnold casually tells them that since they have sworn their oaths, he will now head off to a nearby hotel to catch up on some sleep. Alina cannot fathom why he would withdraw when they were holding second place and still had a genuine chance at victory, but Arnold explains that he left by his own choice, asking her not to be upset with him and reminding her to inform his father that the bracelet was not broken intentionally. He orders his unit to move out immediately to save the citizens of Kiel, the Emperor, and all his attendants, emphasizing that while infrastructure can be rebuilt, lost lives cannot be replaced. Alina swears to carry out his wishes no matter what and rallies her men to crush the oncoming enemies. In reality, Arnold orchestrated his disqualification solely to operate freely as Silver. He dons his mask and uses teleportation magic to reach the battlefield. Meanwhile, the king himself descends to the front lines to engage the monsters directly. Although his knights urge him to retreat to safety, the Emperor refuses to let a single beast enter the city while he still draws breath. Noticing a group of wounded knights trapped in the chaos, he orders the remaining soldiers to carry the injured inside the city walls. Suddenly, an urgent report arrives announcing that a second wave of over 3,000 A-rank monsters is bearing down on their position. Panic grips the knights, but the Emperor stoically remarks that every knight will simply have to take down 2 beasts each. Suddenly, mocking laughter echoes from the sky above as 2 figures hover in the air, ridiculing the Emperor and remarking that he looks terrified. The king recognizes them as Sama and Dino, noting that he heard of their infamous reputation from his predecessors long ago. It turns out the 2 are rogue vampires exiled from their clan due to horrific atrocities, both carrying immense bounties from the Adventurers Guild. Dino sneers that the guild treats them as mere monsters, declaring that they have never forgotten the humiliation and intend to exact revenge on both the king and the guild simultaneously. The king realizes they have been plotting vengeance for ages, noting that since the former emperor is already dead, they intend to kill him as his proxy instead. Sama eagerly confirms this, mocking how fragile humans are and how easily they die. Realizing they plan to slaughter every citizen and level the city, the king deduces that these vampires were the ones who gathered the monster horde in the first place. Sama boasts that she will drain his blood until he is a shriveled mummy before dumping his corpse in the capital square for everyone to see. The king defiantly challenges them, warning that the empire will not fall even if he dies, and that his knights and royal children would eliminate them in seconds. Acknowledging the king's brave spirit, Dino unleashes his magical power, promising to make the monarch regret his words as he hurls a massive fireball straight at him. Alina swoops in at the absolute last second and blocks the attack, saving the king. The emperor thanks her for returning to defend the city, amazed that she managed to arrive right on time after leaving Arnold behind, only to be shocked upon learning that Arnold himself sent her. Hearing that his feeble son ordered her back to protect the realm makes the king feel genuinely proud of Arnold for the very first time, while also expressing pride in Alina, whom he helped raise. Alina draws her weapon, eager to demonstrate the power of the legendary sword. Sama mocks their efforts, claiming that extra knights won't change the outcome of the battle, but Dino cautions her not to underestimate the Armsburg bloodline, as they are legendary heroes rather than ordinary humans. Sama recognizes Alina as the sole knight aligned with the Feeble Prince and relentlessly ridicules Arnold. Enraged by the insults, Alina leaps into the air and clashes with Sama's strike. Realizing how formidable she is, Dino joins in, but Alina valiantly holds her ground against both vampires simultaneously. Meanwhile, Prince Conrad arrives on the battlefield with his forces, foolishly boasting that he has come to protect his father, win the festival, and become a national hero, ordering the vampires to retreat if they cannot handle his army. His father yells at him to stay back, but the arrogant Conrad ignores the warning and charges forward. And that brings us to the end of episode 5. Thank you all so much for watching and following along with the journey. If you enjoyed this series and want to see us dive right into the next episodes, let's try to hit 1,000 likes on this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with future recaps, and drop a comment below letting me know who your favorite character was this season.